Welcome to BNEWS Weekly. I'm Phil Gallagher along with BNEWS Director Rich Hosford, BNEWS reporter Robert Parrish, Peter Brown with the weather, Matt DiMaggio with sports, and Maddie Shipka with the community calendar. Thank you for joining us. The Burlington Board of Selectmen reversed its decision to revoke a liquor license of a restaurant that has been closed for a year. As reported by BNews during its December 18th meeting, the board voted 3-2 to revoke the license from the closed Bonefish Grill location due to inactivity. The license was up for the revocation hearing due to the fact that the restaurant had been closed since January of last year, and the town had not received sufficient information on what Bonefish's parent company, Bloomin' Brands, planned to do with it. The board was told by an attorney that the company was in talks to transfer it to Darden Restaurants, a large restaurant group, for a Yard House location at the current Chili's. No confirmation, by the way, that Chili's is planning to close. This raised questions about the legality under state rules of transferring a license to a location that already has one in use. However, it turned out that the vote taken in December could not stand due to an issue with how the meeting notification was posted. Town Administrator Petrin explained that the meeting notice was sent to an attorney that had been speaking on behalf of Bloomin' Brands at a previous meeting, but not the company's official attorney. This meant the town had to repost the meeting and hold a new public hearing on the license revocation. Since that time, some things had changed. Most significantly, Bloomin' Brands now says it is in talks with the Wilder Company, owner of Wayside Plaza, about transferring the license to a new restaurant in the same location as Bonefish. Mr. Petrin said he also spoke to representatives from the state's Alcohol Beverages Control Commission to confirm that the license could not be transferred to a location that already has a liquor license. With this new information, Petrin recommended the board to renew the license, but to also vote on setting a time limit on how long the town is willing to wait until it sees action. He suggested they give the company 6 months to transfer the license, and if by July 1 it had failed to do so, they would be brought back in for a possible license revocation hearing. Members of the board seemed open to this suggestion, given the updated situation. They said they wanted to see, if it was possible, some arrangements between Bloomin' Brands and the Wilder Company. In the end, the board voted 5-0-0 to renew the license and to place the 6-month time limit on the license transfer. A representative of Uno Pizzeria and Grill confirmed to BNews that the restaurant will be closing on Sunday, January 28th. The story of the closing was first reported by Boston Restaurant Talk. The restaurant will be having a farewell party open to customers from 5 to 10 p.m. on Friday. The Burlington Mall Uno Pizzeria has been open for nearly 30 years. It was one of the earliest to open in the Boston area. It is not the first to close, however. In the last couple of years, Harvard Square, Waltham, Newton, and Alston have all closed. BNews also confirmed that employees of the Burlington restaurant have been offered an opportunity to work in the Woburn location. A member of the Burlington Fire Department has been promoted to a new position left open after a promotion 2 weeks ago. As reported on BNews, January 8th, Fire Lieutenant Robert Paul was promoted to captain in the wake of a retirement that left that position open. On Monday at the Board of Selectmen meeting, Fire Department Chief Steve Yetman recommended that firefighter Mike Bibby be promoted to lieutenant to fill Paul's previous post. Chief Yetman said 5 strong candidates were interviewed for the position and that Bibby's experience and professionalism made him a good pick. Here's Chief Yetman.
At your last meeting, I recommended the promotion of Lieutenant Paul to captain, and that creates a vacancy at the lieutenant's position. So, typical civil service, we requested a eligible list of candidates. We are very fortunate to have a good list of qualified people. So we got a list of individuals, firefighters Mike Bibby, Craig Callahan, Jimmy Haypenny, Sean Kenny, and Sean Connors. So we conducted interviews last week with the Assistant Chief, Joanne Faust, the Human Services Director, and the Firefighter Union President, Ed McLean. So Mike Bibby, 29-year veteran of the Burlington Fire Department. He holds certifications as Firefighter 1 and 2, Fire Officer 1, Fire Inspector 1. He's a CPR instructor, and he's also an ice water rescue instructor. So with that, I recommend firefighter Mike Bibby be promoted to the rank of lieutenant.
So with that vote, I can announce that Mike Bibby is now a lieutenant within the Burlington firefighters. So congratulations to Lieutenant Bibby.
Burlington Area Chamber of Commerce held their second annual Black Tie Gala benefit at Cafe Escadrille. The benefit was a celebration to see all the local charities and organizations that have been involved in the Burlington Chamber. BNEWS reporter Robert Paris was there and has this look.
A large gathering of ladies and gentlemen made their way into the banquet facility as they were dressed up for a special night. Last week, the Burlington Area Chamber of Commerce held their second annual Black Tie Gala event at Cafe Escadrille in Burlington. The event was a way for the Burlington community to see all the local charities and organizations that are part of the Burlington Chamber.
This is our second annual Black Tie Benefit Gala. We formed a charitable partnership program with a number of local nonprofits in an effort to be the conduit between businesses and a lot of the organizations that support our community. This is really a celebration of the partnership between the business community and those that serve our community so well. There's very little pomp and circumstance that go on tonight, a few short speeches, but it's really about having a great time, getting some of the businesses to know a little bit more about the organizations that support our community, and just really just having a great time.
A number of new and old charity members took part in this year's Black Tie Gala benefit.
There are a number of charities. Help Us, the local charities, they run the gamut from neurofibromatosis. They're doing all right, Christine?
Doing great.
There's also Help Us, which is a local charity providing assistance to needy families and causes. The Burlington Educational Foundation, which is a foundation that's been in existence forever that provides financial support to teachers trying to provide innovative programs. The 22 Project, which is dealing with the suicide problem of veterans. And so it runs a spectrum. There are about 8 charities that all the proceeds tonight go to those charities.
A new charity member was in attendance at the Black Tie, and their organization helps support military veterans through a local hockey program.
The Skate for the 22 Foundation is just over 2 years old. It's a veterans nonprofit organization that provides suicide prevention to veterans. Currently, there's a rate of 20 to 22 veterans committing suicide every single day. We do it through the sport of hockey. So we provide hockey at no cost to veterans in order to bring them back to a team-based environment. We provide suicide prevention and awareness training, and as well as financial assistance to families of veterans that may have committed suicide.
Once again, Herb Chambers of Herb Chambers Companies came back to be the presenting sponsor for the 2018 Black Tie Gala.
Well, we talked a little bit about social responsibility, about the importance of giving back to the community. I think it's fantastic the way that the BACC is supporting these 8 charities here tonight. On our own, we have a very healthy contribution that we make in the millions of dollars every year to more than 100 charities that do, great work for the community all around Boston. So it fits really well with the values we have as a company, and it just is very much the right thing to do.
Finally, it's all about giving back to the community.
It's important that you support your community. The business community here always steps up whenever they're asked to get involved with some of these organizations that really make an impact. And so I like to say, whenever people have a choice on where they do their business, where they spend their money, look at our list of sponsors here tonight, knowing that when you make a purchase with them, part of that purchase stays here within the community. It's very important to us, and that's why we ask people to shop local and buy local.
That we're all very lucky and we have an obligation to give back. And that's what, when Christine asked me to get involved with this for that foundation, that was her argument to me, and that it makes a big difference.
I hope that people take a look at the individual charities that are here and would maybe approach those charities and find out what they can do on a larger level, whether it's donations or volunteering, and kind of get down to see what actually each individual charity does and how they support the local community.
It's a nice reminder that there are a lot of people out there giving up a lot of time, resources, and energy in the pursuit of great endeavor to support people that really need it. And we can all do more all the time.
From Cafe Escadrille, I'm Robert Paris for BNEWS Weekly.
Burlington Town Meeting approved a warrant article to use funds to provide town firefighters advanced medical training during its January session this past Monday night. As reported on BNews, the Board of Selectmen approved the placement of an article on the warrant that would appropriate $260,000 to train 8 members of the Burlington Fire Department as paramedics. This is part of a multi-year push to change the department's emergency medical status from basic life support to advanced life support. The article passed by a near unanimous vote on Monday. This training program will provide an opportunity to current members to train as paramedics, which could both further their careers and would make them eligible for a stipend that comes with the advanced training. Town meeting members did have some questions about the training program and the switch to ALS, with most focused on the cost. One potential cost, new ambulances, would not be needed, Town Administrator Petrin said. The department's current ones are equipped to handle the switch to the high-level medical care. There would be some initial costs for things like medications that paramedics, unlike EMTs, can administer. As for the exact cost increase of having more paramedics in the department, much of that is yet unknown. Assistant Chief Mike Patterson explained the amount of the regular ongoing stipend that we'll be giving to those who complete the training has not yet been negotiated. Petrin said that switching from BLS to ALS could be even in terms of the budget. The result, he explained, is that currently the town contracts ALS services to a third party, and in doing so must pay them roughly 60% of the fees collected for ambulance transports. This comes out to approximately $300,000 a year, which if the town was supplying the ALS services, it would keep. One big reason is that the ALS level, the department can provide paramedic service faster than what Armstrong, the current provider, can provide. The average response time for the outside service is 7 minutes after the ALS provider is notified. If the Burlington Fire Department were to provide ALS service, the response time in town would be within 4 minutes. A new committee will be formed to review the town's zoning bylaws. On Monday, town meeting voted nearly unanimously to create a zoning bylaw review committee. The article was put forward by the ad hoc zoning bylaw review study committee that was formed by town meeting in September of 2016. It suggested a review committee be formed made up of 9 voting members and 2 non-voting members. The members will include 1 representative from the Board of Appeals, 1 from the representative of the business community, and a balanced representation of town meeting precincts. The 2 non-voting members will be from the building department and the planning board. All terms will be for 3 years, or in the case of elected officials, it will be 3 years or the end of their term on the board. The purpose of the committee will be to review existing zoning bylaws and suggest possible changes to bring them up to date and in line with the anticipated changes coming from the state level. During town meeting, members of the ad hoc committee provided arguments why this was necessary. One reason is that the town's current zoning bylaws have conflicting and ambiguous sections, and that there is some debate on how to interpret certain areas of the bylaw. They also said a review would help with future growth and sustainability in town and to keep the bylaws current with mass zoning reforms. Finally, they argued that with the master plan implementation about to begin this year is a good opportunity to update the zoning bylaws. The committee is expected to require funds estimated to be around $10,000 for a recording secretary and to cover consulting fees. The Burlington Police Department has a new system that will allow it to respond more quickly to emergencies. Chief Michael Kent said in a release that he is pleased to announce the department has transitioned to a more modern 911 dispatch system that will shorten response times during emergencies. By transitioning to the Mass 911 Department's Wireless Direct program, the Burlington Police Department's Emergency Operations Center now receives all 911 calls originating from cell phones in Burlington, rather than having them first go through a state police dispatch center. According to police, Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, and Sprint are all now actively directing their customers' 911 calls to the Burlington Police Department's dispatch center, reducing the amount of time it takes to initiate a police, fire, or emergency medical response, while only slightly increasing the department's daily call volume. Since implementing Wireless Direct, Burlington Police have received approximately a dozen more calls per day. Chief Kent said that seconds count in emergency situations, and this system enables police to get people the help they need as quickly as possible, and he believes that any increase in call volume is offset by the benefits of getting these calls directly. The Burlington Police Department is one of only 15 agencies statewide that transitioned to the wireless program last month. The Friends of the Burlington Public Library work hard to support the library and its programs. Last week, the group acknowledged 3 board members who were stepping down after a lot of hard work for the organization. BNEWS Director Rich Hosford was there and files this report.
Last week, during its annual meeting, the Friends of the Burlington Library said a fond farewell to 3 longtime board members who had spent many hours working to support the organization and the Burlington Public Library. The 3 board retirees were President Dallas Slade, Vice President and former President Don Roberts, and Treasurer and Clerk Sue Ellen McGillick, who unfortunately couldn't make it to the meeting. I asked the 2 there what had inspired them to get involved with the organization.
I've always had a love of books, and I really have a strong belief in what libraries stand for and what they represent in the community. All of that is so very important to me, and that's how I first became involved with the Friends.
Well, I've always been interested in the library, and I'm a reader, so I do a lot of reading. And as you may not know, I was director of the Recreation Department in Burlington for 37 years, and I supported the library when I was, a department head in town.
There is a lot of pride among the Friends of the Library and the library staff in the services the Burlington Public Library provides, which are many.
Keeping all the programs going here at the library that the Friends have funded for so long, and again, those the highlights of those programs are our children's and teen programs. We have performers come in, and there's all kinds of activities that are provided for children and teens, and prizes throughout the year. And the Friends fund over $8,000 annually for children's and teen programs.
Well, basically supporting everything the library does. The Friends support the library in many, many ways, but particularly we support children's programs, adult programs, museum passes, furnishings and furniture for the library. Basically, the things that the library can't fit in their budget, they ask the Friends to assist with.
Library leadership says the work of the Friends of the Library is very valuable and helps in many ways to support their efforts.
Oh, yeah. Their contributions have been massive and many. Any library program, practically any library program, is funded by the Friends, as well as the museum passes, which are hugely used in our library. And in addition to that, they provide things like furniture used to display our materials sometimes, as well as other items. So without the Friends, we wouldn't be the library that we are.
Director Michael Wick also acknowledged the hard work and time given to the library by the 3 retiring board members.
Sure. So when I started, Dallas and Don and Sue Ellen, who were retiring tonight from the board, they were on the board when I started, and they were just wonderfully welcoming people. It was my first time as an assistant director, and really my first time working with a Friends organization, and they were extremely inviting. They really kind of taught me the ropes in terms of what it was that they did. And once I saw what exactly it was that they did and how much time they provided to the library, it was just staggering because I've never been in a position where I've been able to volunteer that much of my time to an effort. And they've done that, and they've done it selflessly, and they really haven't done it with much thought to what that meant for them. They do it thinking what that means for the library, for the residents of Burlington.
At the Burlington Public Library, I'm BNews Director Rich Hosford.
People Helping People, Burlington's leading charity organization, is looking for some volunteers. According to a notice from the group, the PHP Food Pantry is looking for adult volunteers to help at the Saturday sorts, first and third Saturdays of each month. They are looking for sorting leaders and shelving supervisors. The leaders would help from 8:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. and shelving supervisors from 9 to 10:30 a.m. The group needs 1 leader and 1 shelving supervisor at each Saturday sort. The leader opens the pantry, makes sure everything is set up properly, and oversees the sort. The shelving supervisor oversees the shelving, making sure that things stay organized. People Helping People needs volunteers also to commit 1 or both of the Saturday sorts. They will provide training. They also, anyone interested can contact Christy at 781-270-6625 or burlingtonpantry@gmail.com. There is also a dire need for fish drivers. FISH stands for Friends in Service to Humanity, to drive food pantry clients to and from the food pantry to receive their food. If you are interested in helping with this, call Burlington Youth and Family Services at 781-270-1961. People Helping People is a nonprofit, predominantly volunteer support program established to provide assistance to residents of Burlington who have an emergency need for food, medicine, heat, or utilities, and to provide for holiday food and gifts for children. People Helping People operates solely on donations. We go now to BNews weatherman Peter Brown in our Weather Center for the latest forecast. We'll also check out the community calendar with Madison Shipka to see what's happening in Burlington.
Well, hello everyone, and this is Peter Brown with a look at your weather for the upcoming 7 days. And I'm going to say we've definitely had a seesaw in terms of temperatures over the past 10 days or so. We've been going from very warm conditions back to very cold conditions, and that's definitely evidenced by how broken up the roads are. If you've been around the Burlington area or anywhere around Boston, your car has probably taken a couple of pretty good hits from some big potholes. So unfortunately, that is a little bit of a worry as we get through all of these temperatures where we go from really warm to really cold again. And unfortunately, it looks like we're going to be doing that again. It looks like we're going to have some nice warm temperatures as we head into the weekend. But starting out our period on Friday, we're going to see temperatures pretty chilly again. So back to like what we were seeing a little bit earlier in January. But again, temperatures only around 30, which is, again, it's about 7-8 degrees below our average high for this time of the year. But our average low is going to be about around where they're supposed to be, in the mid-teens. But still, if you have to be out Friday night going into Saturday morning, it is going to be pretty chilly. Now, look at this. Can you believe it? The end of the period brings us all the way to February 1st already. And one good thing about getting into February, we are actually going to be 2/3 of the way through meteorological winter. So that's definitely, if you're looking forward to spring, that's some great news. And of course, the days keep getting longer as we head on towards the February timeframe and on to spring. Now, as we go ahead, I'm going to show you a little bit about what's going to be going on with our weather for the next 7 days. And we're going to see a couple of storm systems coming our way as we head into the latter portion of the weekend and into the start of next week. Now, we're going to see this first storm system coming at us on Sunday. This is actually going to be bringing up some warm weather ahead of it on Saturday. So we're actually on Saturday going to see temperatures maybe in the upper 40s to around 50. So some pretty pleasant conditions with partly cloudy skies, which is very nice for January. But as we get into Sunday, we're going to see the chance of some heavy rain moving into our area. And right here in the Burlington area and most of the rest of southern New England, we could pick up as much as another inch of rain on top of all that heavy rain we had a couple of days ago. Now, as this storm system moves by, earlier when we were first putting together the forecast, it was looking like on Monday we were going to be staying mostly rain, getting a little bit chilly, but still staying in the rain. And right now, looking ahead, we actually might be mixing some snow in as we get in towards the latter portions of Monday and going into Tuesday. So that's something we're going to have to keep an eye on as we go through the next few days or so. And that could bring us a couple of inches here in the Burlington area, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. As we get towards the end of the period, it looks like we might see another storm system that's going to pass well to our north and west up into eastern Canada. And that, again, is going to bring, after some cold weather to start the week out, we're going to actually see temperatures up near 50 again when we get towards the start of February. So this has really been an incredible January, that's for certain. We saw the incredibly cold air to start the month, that big blizzard, and now we're seeing these up and downs with some very chilly weather, but then some really nice, pleasant, warm weather interspersed with that. As we move ahead, I'm going to show you a little bit about those chances that we're expecting for maybe a little bit of snow getting into the Monday and Tuesday time frame. Now, again, this graphic from the National Weather Service is showing there's really not much of a risk when we were putting our forecast together. However, we're going to have to keep a closer eye on this. You see this little tiny patch of yellow here that they have over northeastern Connecticut. That most likely at this point has expanded a little bit, so we may see more of an elevated risk for getting at least a few inches of snow maybe here as we get into Monday and then into Tuesday. So again, keep that in mind. If you be out and about Monday night and then Tuesday morning, we may have to deal with a little bit of wintry weather, but nothing we can't handle here in New England and especially in the Burlington area, that's for sure. As we go ahead, we're going to take a look at our temperatures for the next 7 days. And again, starting out on Friday, we're going to see some fair skies, but again, temperatures only around 30, and with a gusty wind out there, really going to have to bundle up if you're out there walking around. Now, on Saturday, we were showing originally temperatures maybe only in the low 40s. We might have to bump this up, and we may see temperatures closer to maybe 50 as we get into Saturday afternoon. But if you have to be out and about this weekend, Saturday is definitely going to be the pick of the 2 days. As we get into Sunday, we're going to have some mild conditions, but that's also going to bring with it the chance of some heavy rain here on the order of maybe an inch or so. And of course, on Monday here, we're going to see temperatures start to cool off again down into the mid-30s, and this may actually be a little bit too generous in terms of temps as we get into Monday. And we're going to have to keep an eye on the chance of maybe a little bit of snow on Monday night and getting into Tuesday. But look at this Tuesday. Back to reality, folks, back to the upper 20s. But then Wednesday, we moderate back into the mid-30s again. And by the end of the period, getting into Thursday on February 1st, look at this. Temperatures again, 48 to maybe as high as 50 degrees with some actually fairly mild temps overnight. So, folks, the seesaw in terms of temperatures looks like it's going to keep going on as we head into February. So get out there and enjoy the weekend and have a great week.
Hello, I'm Maddie Shipka, and this is your community calendar. Enjoy an evening of creative expression and support Burlington students. On Wednesday, January 31st from 7:30 to 9:30 p.m. at the American Legion, the Francis Wyman PTO will be having a Parent Hate Night fundraiser. Come and show your artistic skills while having a good time with friends. Proceeds for the event will go to Francis Wyman. Everyone is welcome and pre-registration is required. For more information and to register, visit paintnight.franciswymanpto.org. Come and learn about international issues involved in our world today. On Thursday, February 1st, from 10:30 a.m. to noon, Burlington Public Library will host Great Decisions, an 8-week discussion series focusing on world affairs. The discussion will be led by Dr. Craig Brandt, a retired naval officer and experienced group leader. Everyone is welcome. To register and for more information, call the library at 781-505-4985 or sign up at burlington.org. Meet an author who's also a psychic. On Friday, February 2nd at 6 p.m., the Barnes & Noble in Burlington will be having an author meet and greet with Diane Lewis, who wrote the book From Psychic to Soul. The author will also pick people for some psychic readings. Everyone is welcome and the event is free. For more information, visit barnesandnoble.com. I'm Maddie Shipka, and this has been your Community Calendar.
The Burlington High School teams are battling this winter season. For the latest Red Devils action, we go now to BNEWS sports reporter Matt DiMarzio for this week's sport report.
Hey everyone, this is Matt DiMarzio here with your weekly sports report. It's a busy few days for Burlington High sports teams. On Friday night, the basketball teams are in action against Lexington. The boys host the Minutemen at 7 p.m. in a game that both teams desperately need. Lexington's boys are fighting to reach the 500 mark, while the BHS boys are chasing the Middlesex League Freedom Division title. Lexington is coming off a big win over Lordstown and promises to be a tight battle. The girls will be in Lexington for Lexington's coaches vs. Cancer game, also at 7 p.m. The girls are battling to stay above 500 and hoping to qualify for the state tournament. The girls are also playing at home on Monday in a non-league game against Waltham. The Red Devils recently played Waltham and won a tight game by pulling away in the fourth quarter. On Saturday, the Devil hockey teams are in action. The boys host a much improved Lexington team at 5 p.m. at the Ice Palace, and the girls will also play Lexington immediately after the boys at approximately 7 p.m. Both Lexington teams are battling to stay in state tournament contention, and both games should be competitive. Lexington's boys recently tied Arlington 1-1. The track and field and wrestling teams are also busy on Saturday. The wrestlers will participate in a tournament in Concord, New Hampshire, while the track teams will compete in the state coaches meet at the Reggie Lewis Center in Boston. That's all for sports. I'm Matt DiMarzio. Back to you guys in the studio.
Another week, another photo to highlight. This week's photo contains a wise reminder from the Burlington Public Library. It was sent in by reference librarian Shelley Sloboda and shows a sign outside the library reminding residents not to believe everything they see online. One place where you can find reliable information that is also provided by a friendly and helpful staff. The the library, of course. Thanks for the photo, Shelley. We'd like to see your photos. They could be of something you see around town, the weather outside your own door, or photos of your family members, friends, and pets. Whatever you think is interesting, would like to share with us in the community, email your photos to bcat@bcattv.org with the subject line Photo of the Week. Okay, that's it from the news desk here at BNEWS Weekly. I'm Phil Gallagher, along with Rich Hosford, Robert Paris, Peter Brown with the weather, Matt DiMaggio with sports, and Madison Shipka with the community calendar. Thank you for joining us.